out there in Bourne as we get set for the evening news coming up right about now, right here on DBS Radio.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, a government confirms the appointment of Erlson Matthew as Chief Cultural Officer. In the news from the region, former Grenada Prime Minister demands independent investigation into tragic death of a former senator. And internationally, U.S. Supreme Court halts the lower court's order and opens door for Trump to withhold $4 billion in foreign aid. The details of these stories and more coming up next.
It's in the feeling and how we talk. It's in the meaning and our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. 'Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep this going. Before we will go all in. Hands up in the sky. Celebrate and come let your rhythm flow.
DBS News.
And welcome back. A special good evening to our listeners of Acoustic Worship Radio. The government of Dominica has confirmed the appointment of Erlson Matthew as Chief Cultural Officer. His appointment took effect on July 1, 2025, close to 4 years after he acted in the position.
Happy occasion, I must say, not just for me, but for so many who have been asking over the years. Never seen the public that much invested into something like that. So that touched me and gave me the energy to keep pushing with my team at the division. So thanks for keeping me in your thoughts and prayers and appreciating the work. And just know that the work continues. We have a lot more to offer. Opening of Independence coming soon. Stay tuned.
And that was a Chief Cultural Officer, Erlson Matthew. Dominica is to observe National Days of Prayer on September 19th, 20th, and 21st. Meantime, the official opening of the 47th anniversary of independence is set for September 26th with a ceremony at the State House Conference Center.
So this year, I want to remind all church leaders that on the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st of September will be the National Days of Prayer. So whichever church you go to, we are asking people to dress in their national wear in the observance of National Days of Prayer for Independence. This year we also have our parade, as we did last year, which most people enjoyed. What I am asking this year is for people to come to the parade dressed in something Creole. Let us not let it look like a carnival activity. Let us remember it is independence. This is on the 27th. So the official opening of independence is on the 26th of September, Friday the 26th. This is a ceremony at the State House. And on the 27th, on the afternoon of the 27th, then we have the parade on the streets of Roseau, where we showcase everything independence.
And that was a minister responsible for culture, Greta Roberts. Wesley High School will observe its 99th anniversary on October 16th. Meantime, school principal Kirshner Rabes says the 2025 new academic year looks encouraging with the intake of new students in recent times.
So at Wesley High School, we continue to strive for the best always, as our motto guides us. This year we have 34 new students in first form, and based on all reports, that's the most we've gotten in quite a long time. And so we look forward to working with the 34 new students that we have received this year. In October, we'll be celebrating 99 years of existence, and so we are well on our way to 100 years. And this year, we would begin, our preparations for our 100th anniversary. That means that we have a legacy of success and that we have contributed to national development through the thousands of girls who have walked through our doors. Wesley High School, although small, we have contributed meaningfully. We have doctors, we have IT specialists, lawyers, journalists who have walked through our doors. So Wesley High School has really been producing prominent young ladies. So we will have activities as time unfolds. We will be publicizing some of our activities, but our highlight would be the 100th anniversary next year, Lord willing. So Wesley High School is an all-girls Methodist school, and so in all things we put Christ, and Christ goes before us. Recently, we renovated the Chateau building, and that complements the Big Edge Financial Express, the Doctrovs, and we are really grateful for the support of the wider community.
And that was the principal of Wesley High School, Kushner Rabis. Officials have expressed concerns regarding the vandalism and theft of instruments belonging to the Dominica Met Service. Farah Rock Correa, a representative of the Dominica Met Service, says these acts have resulted in financial losses for the institution.
So on multiple occasions, we've had tampering of the sensor arm, meaning that the arm on which the sensor is, people bend it, they turn the direction of the sensor, and then most recently, we've actually had theft where someone stole a solar panel. To install that station, we looked at security measures. They went with whatever tools and they cut through that and stole a solar panel. So in essence, that investment to a certain extent went down the drain. Then we had complete theft of a water level station at Picard years ago. We had battery, solar panel, and some other components at Syndicate years ago. We had solar panel theft at De Logomie. We had DBS where the whole station was stolen. The extent that people would go, like I was explaining in Londonderry, and then even at DBS, we put that station on the side of the bridge where somebody would not easily see it. They still stole it. Well, they used to vandalize the Coptol water level station. And then most recently, I recognize that people have been vandalizing the rain gauge at the Pegua station. And the list goes on. People need to understand that the equipment is very expensive.
And that was a Farah Rock career from the Dominica Met Service. Sergeant of Police David Andrew Jr. warned that perpetrators of these acts can face charges and fines for committing these offenses.
So just looking at one of the main offenses which we have seen when it deals with those instruments is malicious damage. You're liable to a fine of $2,500 and imprisonment for 1 year. So just look at it. You as an ordinary citizen tampering with those type of equipments, you could find yourself in serious trouble with the law and might be facing serious penalties and also jail time. So we must be very cautious and careful of our activities around those instruments when we come close to it, when we traverse in those areas where they are located. And based on what colleagues of the Met Office, those equipments are very far and they're very secluded. So to actually get to those equipment, you would have to take some level of effort. So, I mean, it's not making sense to jeopardize your liberty just to create some level of inconvenience, not only to yourself because it will be impacting you, but also the general public.
And that was the Sergeant of Police, David Andrew Jr. Regional Manager of CBN Dominica and the St. Lucia National Lotteries, Kamisha Richards, says there are a lot of growing concerns over publicizing the identity of major winners. She says the concerns are that their visibility could put them at risk. Her statement came while presenting the Super 6 jackpot of $1.19 million to 57-year-old Ann Luke of Maho on Monday.
As an organization that have served the people of Dominica for almost 2 decades, we deeply understand and respect these concerns. Safety, privacy, and responsible gaming is at the heart of everything that we do. However, it is essential to also consider the upholding of transparency, credibility, and public trust in our games. Showcasing real winners is part of our due process. It also serves a greater purpose, one that assures players and the wider public that our games are fair, that the odds are real, and that ordinary people do win. In an age where misinformation spreads so easily, public visibility of our winners affirms the integrity of our operations. It inspires others with hope, and it helps us to fulfill our mandate of giving back to our community through reinvestment in sports and culture. When people see and believe that winners are real, it fuels the same system that allows us to continue to support national progress.
Richard says, however, the Dominica National Lotteries will have to look seriously at the issue.
That said, we are also evolving with the times. We are actively exploring more flexible winner public options, such as partial reveals, silhouettes, or opting to conceal identities only in cases where it is warranted and where it does not compromise the transparency of our process.
And that was the manager of CBN Dominica and St. Lucia, Kamisha Richards. An inaugural Mass to commemorate World Rivers Day will take place on September 28th at St. John and St. Louis Roman Catholic Church in Portsmouth. This year marks the 20th anniversary of World Rivers Day, which is celebrated annually on September 28th. The Indian River in Portsmouth will be the main focus of this year's observance.
Momentous occasion is set to take place on Sunday, September 20th, 2025, as Pope Leo XIV instituted the Care of Creation Mass, aligning with the celebration of the 20th anniversary of World Rivers Day of the United Nations. This event will be held in Portsmouth at the St. John and St. Louis Church, under the esteemed patronage of President Sylvanie Burton and Mr. Burton. The festivity will also feature the participation and significant local figures. The Care of Creation Mass aims to inspire individuals and families to cherish their natural surroundings and take action towards environmental sustainability. As part of this year's celebration in Portsmouth, we are having the Boy Scouts, the Girl Guides, uniform groups. And then after the inauguration Mass, we'll be having a parade from the church to the Indian River.
And that was the chairman of the World Rivers Day Committee in Dominica, Father Franklin Coffey, taking us to the end of this evening's National Focus. Up next is news from the region and international.
It's in the feeling and how we talk. It's in the meaning and our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what we keep exploring. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrate and come let your rhythm flow.
DBS News.
And welcome back. Now news from the region. 16 days after the sudden passing of former Senator Neelan Franklin on August 24th, former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell has called for a thorough independent investigation into the 28-year-old's death, urging that it could be conducted by a credible agency outside Grenada's jurisdiction. Franklin, a figure of immense promise whom Dr. Mitchell had appointed to the Senate, reportedly died after ingesting a lethal substance that led to multi-organ failure, with the family now awaiting a toxicology report and local authorities yet to confirm whether the death is being treated as a homicide. Dr. Mitchell insists that transparent and swift justice is essential for both the nation and the grieving family. Internationally, the U.S. Supreme Court issued an emergency administrative stay today, pausing a federal judge's mandate that required the Trump administration to send approximately $4 billion in foreign aid approved by Congress. Chief Justice John Roberts granted the temporary reprieve one day after the administration appealed, affording the court more time to weigh the legality of withholding these funds set for allocation to international assistance, UN peacekeeping, and democracy promotion via a controversial pocket recession strategy. Opponents of the halt are expected to respond to the administration's filing by Friday. The move marks another step in a growing battle over executive authority and Congress's control over federal appropriations. This brings us to the end of this evening's news. Up next is sports.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Lowe's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
And welcome to your DBS Evening Sports for today, September 9th for 2025. Batting into some cricket news, the Dominica's Arsenio Fontaine led the way with the bat as the West Indies Under-19 team recorded their third win over the Sri Lanka Under-19 team as their Youth ODI series continued in Antigua this afternoon. Sri Lanka were dismissed 172 for 48 overs batting first. Shakwan Bell picked up 3 for 43 and Jakeem Pollard 2 for 12. The West Indies started off strongly in reply and were 104 for 1 before they collapsed to 145 for 8 before they eventually held on for the win. Arsenio Fontaine got 48, Micah Grindage got 40 and Jonathan Van Lash got 24 not out. The West Indies scored 173 for 8 in 47.4 overs to win by 2 wickets. In some more sports this evening, President of the Dominican Olympic Committee, Billy Doctrove, says he's concerned with the progress at the tennis facility on High Street. The $120,000 project, which started last year, is still incomplete. The project included the resurfacing of the tennis court and other supporting amenities. Doctrove says the main sponsors of the project, Pan Am Sports, are also concerned with the delay.
We wrote and submitted a project to one of our financiers, Pan Am Sports, and they immediately approved the project and made available to the DOC US $120,000 for use on the project. From those funds, we were able to demolish the existing dilapidated building, build an almost new pavilion, which included dressing rooms, toilet and bathroom facilities, a picturesque balcony, storeroom, installed new lights and fencing, and also repaired the road leading to the facility. We have done all we were supposed to do, but unfortunately, the project has come to a frustrating and grinding halt, a matter that the DOC and Pan Am Sports are very concerned and disturbed about. Recently, at the General Assembly of Pan Am Sports in Paraguay, we were asked about the delay of works to the project. Basically, it is only the resurfacing of the courts that needs to be completed to enable us to open a tennis court for users. So we are appealing to the relevant authorities to please resume works on the project so that the dream of the Dominica Tennis Association and so many of our local tennis players can become a reality.
And that President of the Dominica Olympic Committee, Billy Doctrove. Earlier this year, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit had expressed his frustrations over the delay. This is what the Prime Minister had to say back in May.
We have to make some funds available, and we'll do so in the course of the next few days. It's an important facility that the Member of Parliament for Roseau Central was able to mobilize funds outside the government. So the government hasn't spent money on this project yet. These are funds coming from 2 sources that the Member of Parliament was able to receive, and she's done some work there. Part of the challenge we have is that they went ahead and they gave Public Works Corporation to do the surfacing of the court. This will just take asphalt and just pour anything as if all this. Come on, man. You do not know that a tennis court has to be smooth. You do think who's on the patch in the roads in Dominica? And you get a big check after? Come on. So now this thing has to be ripped off and redone.
And that was the Prime Minister, Roosevelt Skerrit. Minister of State with responsibility for sports, Senator Oscar George, says a consultancy firm will be engaged and government will partner with World Athletics for the construction of a track and field facility in Point Round. Dominica will be among 10 countries to benefit from tracks from World Athletics. Preparatory works on the site have already begun. Mr. George says government will do all in its power to ensure the project becomes a reality.
There was some clearing done at Point Round. By now, everybody should know that Point Round has been identified as a site for the track. The next step is to engage a consultancy firm. So that firm is going to be working on our behalf, liaising with World Athletics. So World Athletics, just to be transparent, World Athletics will be supporting the installation of the track at Point Round. And I want to commend the Athletics Association, Mr. Brendan Williams. We made the application to World Athletics in 2022 to partner with us to develop a track. We have been successful along with 9 other countries, so they will be supporting the construction of tracks in 10 countries globally, and Dominica will be one of those. And our responsibility from the government standpoint is to identify land, which we have done. And then we will go a step further in engaging a proper firm, engineering firm that we will give the site over. They will go in there, do the assessment in terms of line up the track, the surveys, the estimates, which they can present to World Athletics, and they will take it from here. So the clearing you saw at the site, that was just to facilitate some initial assessments by this firm and these technical people in the Ministry of Housing and Lands, etc. Brendan, as we know, is traveling to the World Games, I think today. We expect that at that Games, the formal announcement will be made by World Athletics on their support to Dominica. And in the background, we're progressing with identifying the contractor to give the site over.
Meantime, Senator George says while there is a minor delay with the lighting project at Windsor Park, the project remains on course to be completed in time.
As it relates to the lights at the Windsor Park, as you know, the foundation works is basically complete. What we're waiting on now is the arrival of the anchor bolts for the base of the poles and the actual poles. They have been paid for, they have been ordered, so we're just waiting on them to arrive in Dominica to advance that project. So I think we're okay in the lighting aspect of it. We fell a bit behind because of shipping and stuff like that, but the project is still ongoing as we speak.
Minister of State with responsibility for sports, Senator Oscar George. So President of the Dominica Cycling Association, Ronald Charles, says a lot of emphasis will be placed on grassroots developments during the cycling off-season. Charles says the development of young riders at an early age is crucial for the sustainability of cycling on island.
We also want to take this opportunity to say we're now getting into redefining our grassroots developmental program, and of course we'll be having some fun rides. For the close season, we'll be having some fun and family fun rides. A heavy concentration will be placed on our academy, and we are hoping to have an academy activity at least twice a month on a Sunday once we are able to get the necessary logistics together and more so the permission for doing so. The last activity held at the Bayfront was extremely wonderful. It was great. The participation was great, and the young people enjoyed it.
And that was the president of the Dominica Cycling Association, Ronald Charles. Barbados Royals captain Rovman Powell is hoping his team can put together a string of performances to qualify for the playoffs of the Republic Bank CPL. The Royals picked up their first win of the tournament on Sunday, but still sit in last place in the point standings on 3 points. Powell says the team has had some setbacks which include challenges in the field. He's hoping the team can be better.
Listen, it's always a disappointing feeling when you're in a team and when the ball go up in the air, everyone get nervous. I don't want to be a part of a team like that, and I extend that to the guys. It's good catching conditions, I think, and it's just a little bit of not looking at the ball long enough. But we have capable catchers, we have good fielders, but some of the times it's just about confidence, and hopefully the guys can take a little bit of confidence from this and go further. Listen, just keep on supporting us. You know, as much as this win is for us, it is for you guys. You know, we know how important it is to represent you guys. We know how important it is to represent the Royals brand. You know, so definitely as much as it is a win for we, it's a win for you guys. So keep on supporting us. We'll go again in a few days.
And that was Barbados Royals captain Rovman Powell. Meantime, St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots captain Jason Holder says his team is not giving up hope of qualifying for the playoffs. The Patriots need to win their final game and hope for favorable results in other matches.
Yeah, it means a lot, you know. We're still in the competition, you know, by a very slim margin, but nevertheless, we still got a lot to play for. I think the people at St. Kitts deserve a lot better, and no, it's just our, it's just our thing to just finish well. You know, I just think it's really important to continue to build and grow as a unit. You know, you never know what next year holds. You know, this year is still not over, and we're just going to look to win this last game against Barbados.
And that was St. Kitts captain Jason Holder. The point standing so far, the St. Lucia Kings and Knight Riders are top on 12 points. Antigua has 9, Guyana 8, St. Kitts 6, and Barbados 3 points. The CPL will continue Wednesday night. In some more news, sports this evening, West Indies fast bowler Jaden Seales has been shortlisted for the ICC Men's Player of the Month award for August. The 23-year-old Trinidadian finds himself in elite company, shortlisted alongside New Zealand's Matt Henry and India's Mohammad Siraj for the prestigious monthly honor. Seales' nomination comes in the back of a Player of the Series performance in the last 3-match ODI series against Pakistan on home soil. Seales finished as the leading wicket taker with a total of 10 wickets. The highlight of his remarkable month was a career-best spell of 6 wickets for just 18 runs in the series finale, helping the Windies to their first series win against Pakistan since 1991. This brings us to the end of this evening's News and Sports. A special thanks to the DBS News and Sports team and Link personnel, DJ Halo Boy.
It's in the feeling and how we talk. It's in the meaning and our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life is pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things going. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrate and come let your rhythm flow.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Good evening and welcome to this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It's the 9th day of September 2025. We begin with this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Death Announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. We announce the death of Haig Thomas Basil, aged 78, of Wesley, who resided at Marigot. He died on Wednesday, the 13th of August, 2025. He was the husband of Vincia Basil. He was the father of Bernard, Caroline, Andrea, Linia, Lilia, Donald, also known as Ted, Currington, Erwin, Michael, Tessia, and Oyan. He will also be remembered by his grandchildren, Waylon, Brinell, Donald, Odiama, Nakima, Carlene, Jalil, Irvin, Donnell, Jaya, Jade, Brichelle, Dinel, Deshon, Nashim, Nashid, Kayana, Amara, Kellan, Kylie, and Trinity. 10 great-grandchildren, his brothers, Ford, Brother, Joe, Ezekiel, Jefferson, and Desmond. His sisters, Judith, Frida, Rachel, Honora, and Venus. Adopted children, Emily, Ishmael, John, Shem, and Carly. His godson, Joshua Valmon. Friends and well-wishers, Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, also Honorable Fidel Grant, Senator Gregory Riviere, Cuthbert Honoré, Honorable Anthony Charles, Vina, Krista, Miss Lynn, Stacia Williams, Cheeky, the Margot Labor Group, Roslyn, Jeffrey Charles, the Methodist Congregation of Wesley and Marigot, the Basil families of Wesley, Woodford Hill, and Marigot, the West Marigot community, other family and friends as well, names too numerous to mention. He was predeceased in death by his grandchild, Jamal. The body of the late Haig Thomas Basil of Wesley, who resided at Marigot, can be viewed from 11 p.m. on Friday, the 12th of September 2025 at the Zion Methodist Church in Marigot. The funeral service takes place at 2 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Zion Methodist Cemetery. Management and staff of your nation station DBS Radio extends deepest condolences to all bereaved.
And now, your Community Bulletin Board.
I present to you this evening's edition of the general announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. Applications are invited from suitably qualified individuals to fill the position of Member Service Representative or Teller at the Marigot Cooperative Credit Union. The summary of the job. The Member Service Representative, or MSR, is responsible for delivering courteous, professional, and efficient service to members while ensuring accuracy and adherence to established policies and procedures. The key responsibilities include greeting and welcoming members in a timely and professional manner, promoting and cross-selling the credit union's products and services, receiving checks and cash for deposits, verifying amounts and entering transactions into the computer system, processing withdrawals and cashing checks, ensuring verification of signatures and balances, handling large transactions in compliance with AML, CFT policies, processing loan and bill payments accurately, balancing cash draw at the end of each shift against system totals, opening new accounts and maintaining member records. Minimum qualifications: associate's degree in accounting or business administration, prior credit union experience as a MSR or a teller cashier in another institution would be an asset. Knowledge, skills and abilities, or KSA: strong organizational skills and attention to detail, analytical and problem-solving abilities, ability to multitask in a fast-paced environment, proficiency in Microsoft Office and Outlook, excellent oral and written communication skills, ability to handle multiple tasks with accuracy and completeness, high level of integrity and confidentiality, strong team collaboration, demonstrated leadership qualities and vision, sound judgment, demonstrated leadership qualities and problem-solving skills as well. The application process. Interested candidates should submit their applications, including a detailed curriculum vitae and the names and contact information of 2 references to the Human Resource Officer, Marigot Cooperative Credit Union Limited, Weirs, Marigot, Commonwealth of Dominica. You can also email hrofficer@marigotcreditunion.com. The deadline for applications is Monday, the 15th of December, 2025. For further information, please contact them at the office at